We're back with more perfect players, 10 of them to be precise, but this time they're free agents. Now I know what you're thinking, they're just going to end up at PSG, Bayern Munich, Man City and all the biggest clubs in the world. Well, not today, Pedro, because I have created a transfer embargo for the 100 most reputable clubs in the game, which means PSG, City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich and all the rest of them up there haven't got a hope in hell of signing these guys. So where will he end up? Let's go and find out. 15 years young, 200 out of 200, and of course, max attributes. We've got Maurice Leonhardt, a German. We've got Julien Carpentier, a Frenchman. We've got Paul Hardy, an Englishman. We've got Luke Brothers, not his brother, but another Englishman. Elliot Jones from Wales. Uwe Brandl, I guess. I don't know. Carlo Stanisci, Italian. Adama Doumbia, Alejandro Prieto, our Spaniard, and Josh Cook, our Scotsman. And of course, as you've seen, as I've introduced them all, mid-journeyed out of their minds. Of course, to here in the shortlist, we've got 10 players, and of course, they will end up at different clubs around Europe. Some of them might end up at the same club. Imagine 2 of these up front together. And just to show you the most reputable clubs, there you go, transfer ban until 2073, so that's 50 years. How many Premier League clubs? So Nottingham Forest aren't in there, neither is Sheffield United, Tottenham are, West Ham, Wolves aren't, Arsenal are, Villa are, Bournemouth aren't, Brentford aren't, Brighton are. So, yeah, so we've got a few teams in the Premier League who have got a transfer ban and a few don't. So there could be a bit of a topsy-turvy changeover, especially if some of our perfect players go to championship sides. But then, will they be sold? They might get sold to other clubs. But will the other clubs be able to afford them? So many questions. We'll find out the answers. Let's go to 2024. Okay, so we do have a wide variety of teams here. So we've got Maurice, our German, who's gone to Bologna and scoring 29 in 38. He's also got 7 in 6 for Germany, bypassing the under-21s straight into the national team. So we'll check in on Serie A shortly. But also, while we're here, Carlo Stanici at Parma, he got 30 in 33. So already we can tell you that Maurice at 29 did not get the golden boot or whatever it's called in Italy. That's it for Italy. So let's go and check in on Serie A. Well, it seems last season that AC Milan won the league, but Bologna finished runner-up. Now, where are Parma? No wonder he scored more. Parma in Serie B. So surely, top goal scorer was, of course, it was Stici on 30. 24 for Andrija Novakovic. We did quite well getting 24, but 30 in 32 with 10 assists. What a season he had. He's been capped. No caps for Italy yet. Surprising. Serie A, of course, 29 in 38, whereas Dusan Vlahovic got 23 in 34. But as you can see, Bologna already, with Thiago Motta in charge, finishing second, and they're expected to finish 8th. So having Maurice Leonhardt up front, having him up front is very interesting. There's the price, 11.5 to 35 million pounds, so very affordable. And neglects to mention, of course, the perfect players with the perfect hidden attributes, but we do have 1 loyalty for every single player, hoping that we do force some moves away. Because, of course, on the channel, we've all seen how 20 loyalty can behave. Will 1 loyalty? It doesn't really behave all that badly. We don't see that many players moving on. Maybe because of the price. I don't know. Anyway, back to the shortlist. So the shortlist then. So Julien Carpentier at Nantes in Ligue 1 Uber Eats. So he played for Nantes too. Actually quite a bit, 19 goals. He scored 37 times and they decided, you know what, let's bring him up to the first team, and he got 19 in 21. I feel that's a bit of time wasted, to be honest, putting him in the reserves, but it is what it is. Adama Doumbia, it's the same thing. I wonder if they were 15 and then when they turned 16, that's when they were eligible to play. That almost seems logical, right? The Nantes and Metz. Nantes finished second, 20 points behind PSG, and Metz were 8th, 21 points behind Nantes. So, yeah, maybe next season something interesting might happen going forward. Then we have the following, Bristol City and Coventry. So Bristol City got Elliot Jones, who got 38 in 37, and Paul Hardy, who got 31 in 41. Now, Paul has played up front, it seems. Elliot can actually play on the right. So I think he's been playing on the right. But if we go down to the Championship, of course, Bristol City and Coventry were in this division and they went up as the top 2 teams. If we look at the awards, well, of course, the top goal scorer, Luke Brothers at Coventry with 39, and then we've got 38 for Elliot and 31 for Paul. So the top 3 are made up of our perfect players. Look at them all in their white T-shirts. Like they've been arranged a photo shoot. Come on, mid-journey, sort it out. But those 3 players going to Championship clubs has really helped kick them into the Premier League. Now, Bristol City, if they can keep hold of these 2, then they're going to be able to really rise up the league. Now, if they don't keep hold of them, they're going to get a hell of a lot of money for them. So I think that's enough for Bristol City to potentially stay in this league for, well, the entire experiment, really. So, speaking of the Premier League, we've got Josh Cook at Wolves, 24 in 35, 2 in 4 for Scotland. Gary O'Neill's Wolves. And where did they finish? They actually got Europa League football, finishing in 7th, which is very, very impressive indeed. A goal difference of 7, so defensively they weren't spot on. That being said, the top goal scorer for the league was Josh Cook, 1 ahead of Alexander Isak on 23, and Ollie Watkins was down on 18. Erling Haaland got 13 in 33. What on earth happened there? He only lost once all season to Liverpool. Got 97 points, scored 73 goals. Erling Haaland only scored 13 of them. Baffled. And then Uwe Brandl is at Bochum. He managed to score 15 and 18. So, yeah, a bit disappointing for him. Plenty at 37 and 16 for the reserves. Again, probably the 16-year-old situation. So VfL Bochum are in the league. They've actually qualified for the Europa League. So if we have a look at the stages, they're meant to be down near the bottom. However, as you can see here, they are 6th, finishing above Freiburg, Mönchengladbach, Union Berlin. Of course, Bayern Munich won the league, but only by 2 points. Not the most convincing of wins at all. Unai Emery's in charge. Matthias Dahm left. Go to Newcastle. Okay. And finally, Alejandro Prieto is at Getafe. He scored 11 in 14, which, yeah, is pretty bad. Didn't play for the reserves at all. Getafe finished 10th, mid-table. Oh, 4 free kick goals for Alejandro Prieto. That's impressive, isn't it? Real Madrid won the league. Okay, so there's the end of the first season. Shall we move on to 2025? Yes, we shall. Okay, so Maurice is still at Bologna. He is wanted by United, Newcastle, Tottenham and Bayern, who none of them have a hope in hell of getting him. So looks like you're staying at Bologna, son. 21 in 17, 27 goals in Serie A, where Fiorentina won the league. Bologna down in 9th, Parma in 10th. Fiorentina won the league. Madness. Did not expect that. Okay. Or did I expect how badly they'd do? Parma, as we've just seen, Carlos Anici, how did he do this season? 28 in 36. Fair enough. Prieto for Getafe got 10 in 10 for Spain, 21 this season for him. They got Europa League football by finishing in 6th. Uwe Brandl in the Bundesliga. He got 33 in 34. And VfL Bochum finished in 3rd. So they might overthrow Bayern Munich very, very soon, especially with some of this money that's coming in, because they do have the ability to sign players, whereas Bayern Munich, well, they do not. And they've got players who are leaving. They've got a transfer ban. How the hell's that happened? Have they signed people? These must have been on loan with the permanent future transfer coming in. Anyway, right, fine. So that's very impressive. VfL Bochum finishing in 3rd. We're looking at the top goal scorer, of course. Uwe Brandl was top by 15 goals ahead of Harry Kane. Excuse me. We've looked at Getafe, looking at Nod. He wants to leave, or asking to leave, wants to leave the club. Wants to leave following a contract extension being triggered at a time when he was concerned about the quality of the squad. Oh, Jocelyn Gourvenek. You cheeky sod. Nantes finishing in 6th. Will they be able to keep hold of him? Will anyone be able to afford him? What's his current value? 49 to 147 million. I'm not sure anyone can afford him. I mean, Wolves have, 33 million pound in the bank. A Premier League club's the club that's going to be able to do it. Speaking of Premier League, okay, so 28 in 35 for Josh Cook. Luke Brothers at Coventry, he got 24. Paul Hardy, he scored 24 as well. Elliot Jones scored 31. That's impressive. So Man City have won the league again. Bristol City, the first season up, are in 4th. Champions League qualification. Wolves in 11th. Let's have a look at this then. They've got £31 million remaining. Plus they're going to get Champions League money this season and Premier League finishing money for probably finishing in the top 4 once again. If they can sort of collate that money and keep an eye out on the Nantes player who wants to leave, they could probably afford him next season if they make a couple of sales of who they've got. Maybe spend their current transfer budget on wonder kids and get them sold. That would be a very interesting proposition. Coventry, on the other hand, finished 17th, only 4 points out of the drop zone. So our player definitely has helped them there. Wolves, mid-table, did not get into Europe once again. So Bristol City, will they be able to cope with the strain of Europe? Difficult to say, but no one's made a transfer yet. No one's moved. We didn't check in on Adama Doumbia. My apologies, Adama. At 18 and 29, where did Metz finish then? Mid-table. Meh. The FA Cup's been won by Arsenal and Aston Villa, and then Liverpool have won the Carabao Cup both times. We have a look at some of the transfers. So no one's really making any transfers going out, and that's because they've all got transfer embargoes, isn't it? Yeah, they're all small. I mean, Chelsea have got a squad, haven't they? Yeah, they've lost 28 million, 49 million pounds there, but not a lot of action in the transfer market at the moment. Bayern, both Madrid's and Barcelona want Uwe Brandl. Again, he's transfer listed by request for 79 million pounds. There's no hope in hell. There is no hope in hell of those clubs getting him. Whereas your teams like your Bristol Cities and your Wolves, they've got the money. They've got the money. Brentford here with £49 million to spend. And get some instalments in and they could get one in. Oh my God. Everton have got £160 million. Oh my God. Have they had a tycoon? Sung Woo Cho has taken over as a tycoon. They've got 160 million. They could literally buy two of the players. Both of the players want to leave, the one from Nantes and the one from Bochum. They could literally afford it. Everton could take over this Premier League this season. This could happen. Will it? Probably not. Let's go to 2026. Okay, so Maurice at Lionheart, Bologna still got those two at Bristol City, Luke at Coventry, and Adama Doumbia is still at Metz. He is transferred by request for 92 million now. Again, a who's who want him. I'm wondering if that's getting in the way. If other teams come in, they might say no because of prospects elsewhere. Carpentier is still at Nantes, Prieto still at Getafe, Sinisi still at Parma, Uwe Brandl still at Bochum. He actually doesn't want to leave anymore, and Josh Cook is at Wolves. Okay, so no transfers whatsoever yet. So quick look over in on Ligue 1 last season. Nantes finished in second, 7 points off the pace. Metz in fourth. So both teams getting Champions League football. So our players are playing the Champions League. Can't say fairer than that. In terms of Serie A, well, AC Milan have got their title back from Fiorentina. Bologna in 5th, getting Europa League football, and Parma in 11th, mid-table. Very respectable indeed. Bochum, did they manage to do anything in the league last season? Where are they? Oh, they're there, 6th. Union Berlin finished bottom of the table and got Europa League football. Bochum got Europa League football from finishing 6th. The strain of York was probably too much for their small squad. Uwe Brandl is actually the captain now. He's on £9,000 a week. They're getting away with murder here, aren't they? Like, they literally are £9,000 a week. Like, he's a bargain at £90,000 a week. There's absolutely no way you should be paying anything less than £300,000 a week for this guy. Even though the lay of the land, the status quo of football is changing drastically. But I guess that's what's going to be happening going forward, because these teams can't be buying players. You don't have to pay over the odds because people aren't coming in to pay for them unless they don't renew their contracts and they just leave on a free. We might see that. That might be what happens, you know. Getafe finishing 6th, Europa League football, and it's time for the Premier League. So we've got Bristol City, Coventry and Wolves we need to keep our eye out for. Man City have won the league again, still got all their superstars, but Kevin De Bruyne is old, so he's probably going to be on his way out sooner rather than later. They've got a lot of money, Man City, but they can't buy anyone. So Bristol City did take a step back. They finished 5th this season. They got 63 points, one behind United in 4th. Tottenham got Champions League football from 13th. They've clearly won a tournament, which means we've missed out with Bristol City finishing 5th. That means Europa League football for us, because Arsenal have also got Champions League football from 6th. So have Arsenal just won the Champions League from 6th? They have. They beat Liverpool, and Tottenham beat Juve in the Europa League, which I think is very, very interesting. Wolves finished in 10th and Coventry are 12th. So they're doing pretty well. I think they do need to start to bolster. Again, they've not. Thomas Tuchel's in charge of Wolves. Michael Skubala is in charge of Coventry, a favourite of my experiments, it seems. We are not doing Skubala watch. I don't know why I just clicked on Arsenal. I meant to click on Bristol City. My apologies. So their season budget was £67 million and the remaining budget is -£1. So I'm not sure what's happened there. They've paid decent amounts. They've strengthened the squad brilliantly, and I think they've done exactly what they needed to do. You don't really need another one of these perfect players, although they would be nice, and that would really help them, especially if they retrain them. But they've managed to get a lot of good players in for a decent price. Like Skelemakers from AC Milan is a pretty decent player. You've got Dominic Brujkovic, not the best. Akbar Silla, he's okay. He's good. He's good at jumping. He's a good defender. Is he worth £52 million? I don't know if he is. Xavi Simons is listed by PSG. He doesn't have a long-term future with them. Why is he listed? Well, his potential ability is only 151 on this one. Isn't he a 150 to 180 player? Oh, God, that's an awful piece of RNG luck, isn't it? Absolutely devastating. No wonder they sell him. Okay, well, 2026. Shall we go? We'll go to 2027. One more year. Okay, right. We've got problems here. He's wanted by 16 clubs, and I don't think any of those 16 clubs are in a position to sign him because they're all under transfer embargo. Yeah, even West Ham. I'm sorry, if West Ham are under transfer embargo, every other bugger is. Everton aren't. David Wagner wants him. Well, that could be massive. Alejandro Prieto is also wanted by 19 clubs. Everton are there again. So I've got even VfB Stuttgart have got a transfer ban. And Adama Doumbia, again, 17 clubs and Everton again. This could be this could be Everton's time. After what we spent, after the Wonder Kid video we did with Everton, who knew that you just have to do this? I mean, they've not signed him yet, but I'm almost certain they will do. Right. Anyway, so Uwe Brandl at the Bundesliga team of Bochum, and he finished in second place last season behind Bayern Munich. But brilliant stuff there. Carlo Stanici at Parma, and Maurice Lionheart is at Bologna still. So we're going to go and look at Serie A. AC Milan winning the league once again. Bologna second, Parma third. So they're about to take over. Now, also top goal scorers was Lionheart at 29, 28 for Stanici. They're just walking away with these goal scoring records, and understandably so. He's only a favoured personnel. He's literally firing them to Champions League qualification season after season. So we've got Wolves in the Premier League, Coventry in the Premier League, and Bristol City have 2 in the Premier League. So if we go to the Premier League now, Man City have won it once again. You're on borrowed time here, Man City. You really are. Kyle Walker has left. He's retired. They're losing big players like this, and they haven't replaced them because they can't replace them. So going down the league, well, Wolves finished 5th, and they do have one of our players. Brendan Rodgers is in charge. Now, Josh Cook is doing good bit of stuff for them. 100 goals in the league for Wolves now. 26 last season, 15 assists, 19 player of the matches, and 8.04. Bristol City have got Champions League football because they've won the Europa League. Liam Manning has helped take Bristol City to the Europa League, beating Getafe in the final. Well, Prieto, in his last game for the club, left. He's suspended. He's not even got a club. Who's he suspended for? Elliot Jones, our Welshman, and Jonathan Rowe, not one of our men. It was Paul Hardy who got a 7.7, but Elliot Jones was man of the match on an 8.5. 6 key passes here. That is fantastic. A deserved victory. The XG, the stats, the game, the data, it just all shows, no, it is what it is. So Bristol City winning the Europa League. Real Madrid beat Man City in the Champions League. Napoli beat Leipzig in the Conference League. I'm surprised none of our players have won the Conference League. Would have thought that would have been like a stepping stone in. So where else are we then? We've got Wolves in 5th, as we've seen. Bristol City down in 10th, despite winning the Europa League and getting Champions League football. So that's very, very disappointing from my perspective. You'd expect them to do better. But again, the constraints, the pressures of Europe and the extra games might have left them a bit tired for the weekend fixtures in the league, and they've thrown points away when really the seasons before they were winning. Coventry City in 8th then with our man, and he is, well, Luke Brothers is becoming a bit of a legend at Coventry City. He's 21 games for England, 7 goals. Thomas Frank is in charge. Paul Hardy and Luke Brothers are both in the squad. 17 caps and 6 goals for Paul Hardy. I'm very surprised that they've scored so few. That's actually really disappointing. Italy won the World Cup, beating Morocco in the final, and it was Carlo Stanici in the last kick of the game. In the last kick of the game. We're going to watch it. We're going to see the World Cup winning goals for Carlo Stanici. He's done it for Italy. So, speeding him up a bit. And Morocco actually went ahead. Oh, poor goalkeeping from Donnarumma there. Get me words out. Stanici then with a free kick, direct, near post, 85th minute. Morocco nearly did it. And then he was a penalty. Is that outside of the boot? Cheeky bastard. In injury time. Of course, it says pen there. I don't know why I didn't even clock it was a pen. So both goals were from a set piece. And the Euros was won by Germany, beating Czechia in the final. So if we look at the schedule, we can't go back and actually look at these goals now. But Maurice Lionheart scored, apparently, the only goal of the game for Germany in this 2-1 win. Oh, football manager. No goals here for Germany. Jack Grealish scored. This happens again. This always happens. Why does this happen? I always change it, always fix it, and then it always goes and does that thing again. So that's probably why players that are blacked out probably scored the goals. And so these 3 have not got clubs. Will they get clubs by next season? Let's find out. And wait, it's all kicking off. Maurice, he's left. He's left Bologna. Oh my God. Everton want him. I think Everton might be the only team that can sign him. Nantes can sign him. So he left Bologna at the end of the season. Let's just have a quick look. Bologna 2nd, Parma 5th. And so Carlo Stanici is still at Parma. Prieto has been without a club for an entire year. He hasn't had a team. Why no one's come in for him? Unless he's turned teams down. But some of these teams now, West Ham are in the Championship with Arne Slot as manager, and they've got a transfer embargo. Bologna could sign him. Bologna could actually sign him. Bologna haven't got the transfer embargo. Of course they don't have the transfer embargo because they've signed our player originally. They didn't choose this, did they? Of course. But as predicted, Everton did make some bids, and Julian Carpentier went to Everton and scored 32 in 36. And Adama Doumbia scored 35 in 37. Which David Wagner, he's playing a 4-4-2. You've got Jurrien Timber and Adam Wharton, sorry, not Sam Wharton. You signed him for £53 million. You signed Jurrien Timber from Arsenal for just 27.5. That seems like a bargain. And that's going to be drastically weakening the Arsenal team. Kieran Tierney's gone to Everton for £41 million as well. Oh. And Arsenal won the league, but Everton were second, a point further back with our two players. Wolves in 6th, Bristol City in 5th, and Coventry in 9th. So they're all doing pretty well, all in the top half of the Premier League. The question is, was there any last day drama? Oh my God. Oh, both teams drew. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was against Coventry. It was Luke Brothers who scored twice, putting them 2-0 up. Then Everton came back 3-2. En-Nesyri got one back, and then Doumbia scored twice. Everton, at this point, are going to win the league until Mowastedt scores in the 88th minute. And the game before, Man City won 4-1 against Everton and Arsenal won 3-2. So the last 2 games of the season, Everton dropped points. Their goal difference was better. They had it in the bag and they bottled it. But it's only a matter of time before they win it. Surely. But 3 more are free agents. Well, I'll say 2 more free agents. Alejandro Prieto is still a free agent. 60 goals in 40 caps for Spain. So Luke Brothers' contract at Coventry is actually expired. He's out of contract and he's wanted by... I've made a balls up. I've made a mistake. I didn't give Saudi a transfer embargo. Right, full disclosure, this is the second variation of this experiment that I've tried. The first one, I gave a transfer embargo to every single top nation in the game and a lot of second tier nations, so like the Championship and stuff. And I put a load of players at the clubs. And I put a load of free agents out there. But because all the big teams wanted them, they just weren't getting clubs. So then I went back and I actually put them at clubs in non-league. And unfortunately, they weren't moving. They weren't doing anything. They weren't getting signed by like League One clubs to go up. So I've decided to just take a sort of step back away from that. And I'm going to retweak that top level transfer embargo and do something different with it. Because, yeah, I am interested to see the lay of the land change massively. But I forgot to do Saudi Arabia. So I think Saudi Arabia might come in and poach a couple of these players. But that's not that. Let's not let that deter us. This guy's got 1 year left in his deal at Parma, and he's got 4 years left. So I think Luke Brothers is on his way. But anyway, let's go to 2029 and see what happens. Wolves actually won the FA Cup, beating Arsenal in the final, and it was... Well, it wasn't our player. Wolves have got Victor Osimhen. Wolves have got Victor Osimhen. What is this? Because they can sign players. They sign him for free as well. They've also got Florian Wirtz. Are Wolves sick? Excuse me. This is the kind of thing that we wanted. They've got Wes Fofana. I've got to look at this Wolves squad. Josh Cook's playing on the right. Victor Osimhen up front. Mateus Cunha on the left, who's at the minute looking pretty average, to be honest. Florian Wirtz down the centre. Unbelievable stuff. That's impressive. You've got Linus Gector. He's actually not as good as I remember. Might have been the last FM I had him on, actually. Right, I'm just going to have a quick look down at the current ability of players. Get rid of the 200s. Right. Kylian Mbappe still at PSG. Let's have a quick scan down and just see if there's any transfers of players that have moved to other clubs. Well, Florian Wirtz is at Wolves. There's the first one. And I'm not seeing anything really yet. Although we have got Victor Osimhen coming to Wolves in a moment. Or we already missed Victor Osimhen. We've probably already gone past him, to be fair. Yeah, no one really has moved. Who's this Lewis Guilherme signed for Everton? So Everton are on the cusp of greatness, I think. Everton are really on the cusp of greatness. Anyway, Wolves won the FA Cup. Everton actually did win a trophy. They won the Carabao Cup. 3-2 against Man City. Doumbia scoring the first of 3 goals in a comeback from 2-0 down to win 3-2. Man City won the Champions League, beating Wolves in the final. Inter won the Europa League. Oh, Bristol City won the Europa League. Oh, of course, we saw that, yeah. Yeah, we saw. Yeah, of course, we did see that, didn't we? Yeah. I remember we saw that. So why am I getting so surprised? Bristol City beat Getafe. Of course they did. Let's go to 2029 then. Right. Okay. So Carlo Stanici has just left Parma. He's wanted, of course, by 18 clubs. Burnley. Emma Hayes. Do you know what? I love seeing the fact that Emma Hayes just keeps getting job after job in all these experiments. Is if they've done something in one of the updates? Because I don't remember seeing her get jobs all over the shop. Or maybe it's just random that I'm just happening to just stumble across it. But anyway, go on, Emma Hayes. Love to see it. And Newcastle are down in the Championship. I think that's hilarious. That's genuinely hilarious. Too many big teams here. Too many big teams want him. Could end up at Burnley. So Uwe Brandl did go to Al Sadd. We thought that might happen. And that does make me a bit Al Sadd. Yeah, you saw that one coming, didn't you? And so Alejandro Prieto, after a season away from the game, came back and scored 34 and 38 for Bournemouth. You'll love to see it. 2 players still at Bristol City, Elliot Jones and Paul Hardy. Luke Brothers still at Coventry. He's got a new deal till 2033, £195,000 a week. Are the oh God, 375k a week for him. Elliot Jones, yeah, 375. You're getting paid well. 125 for Alejandro. Right, so Maurice Lionheart has come in from Bologna. He came to Everton as well. Now, he only got 8 in 19. 6 of those were off the bench because they don't need him. Because they've got 2 strikers. They've got Adama Doumbia, who scored 34 in 36. Got Julien Carpentier, who got 29 in 28. Josh Cook at Wolves, 29 in 36. 3 players at Everton. To be honest, one of the players that can play on the right, they could do with them at Everton, really. I'm not sure why Uwe Brandl has been played roughly as a left back, a bit makeshifty. Hopefully he gets a new club soon. And so there's no other leagues to look at other than the Premier League. And Everton have won it. Everton have won it with 103 goals, 15 points they won the league by, losing to Brentford, Arsenal and Liverpool. Speaking of Brentford, they finished 6th, Coventry 7th, Bristol City 5th, Wolves 4th. So all of our teams are 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th and 1st. Only Arsenal and Liverpool maintaining European football via league qualification. Chelsea got Conference League from winning the Carabao Cup, it seems. Vincent Kompany's at Chelsea as well. Yet Chelsea won the Carabao Cup, beating Bristol City in the final. Bristol City actually beat Everton 3-0. And it was Elliot Jones with a hat-trick. What a superstar this guy is. What a superstar. Bristol City have like £85 million in the bank, so they can more than afford some of these players. Everton have got 238 million. For me, you sign Carlos Stanici and you retrain him. You retrain one as a centre mid, one as a centre back, one as a right midfield, and you get them all on the pitch at exactly the same time. But what do I know? Anyway, that's that. And Wolves beat Parma in the Europa League final. Carlos Stanici in his last game for Parma finished with a goal, but it was already 3-0. Josh Cook, Pedro Neto and Victor Osimhen. Is Josh Cook and Victor Osimhen playing up front together? They are. I love that. With Florian Wirtz in behind. I'm sorry if you're a Wolves fan. Just Victor Osimhen at Wolves makes me laugh. But then, is it any weirder than him going to Galatasaray? I'd argue no. Especially considering I've caused all this jiggery pokery. So yeah, Europa League football. Europa League win for Wolves. Tottenham won the conference and the Champions League was won by Real Madrid beating Everton in the final. That's unfortunate. A 3-1 win. Endrick with a brace. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good indeed. So we move to 2030. Okay, so no transfers whatsoever apart from Carlos Stanici has actually made the move to Wolves and Josh Cook's now playing on the right hand side. He's been retrained as a right midfielder as well, which leads me to think that Wolves, they've fitting Stanici in, who's Igor de Corte, a regen, who's fantastic. Victor Osimhen, he's just on the bench. Just on the bench. Oh, fair play. Anyway, 2 playing for Wolves, 3 for Everton, 1 for Coventry, 2 for Bristol City, 1 for Bournemouth, and of course, Uwe Brandl playing for Al Sadd. So we just go and check the Premier League then. Back to back for Everton. And the top 3 are made up with our players. 2 players for Bristol City, 2 for Wolves, 3 for Everton. And as you can see, they are running away with it. Brentford down in 12th and Coventry in 8th, getting Conference League football. So hopefully they can go on and win that. Erling Haaland's now 29. The transfers out for Man City. The couple of players have left over the years, but they've managed to retain pretty much everyone. They've had to. They've genuinely just had to. They've never spent any money. They've got loads in the bank. We can just funnel it all into wages. We've got to keep the players that you've got. Of course, they're falling down the league. Everton won the league. They've also won the FA Cup, beating Wolves 3-2 in the final. Look at that. Carpentier and Lionheart with the goals. Josh Cook, Victor Osimhen. Unbelievable. Carabao, Chelsea beat Liverpool. Wolves just won the Champions League, beating Real Madrid in the final. Josh Cook with a pen. Europa League, Tottenham beat Coventry. Conference League, Chelsea beat Havre. Graham Potter's in charge of England, who's won the World Cup then. It was Italy who won the World Cup. We've not had another World Cup, but we would have done. Oh, and it was Netherlands that won the Euros. Fine. Okay. So, I think at this juncture, we might get some more transfers. We might get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I think that we're going to, at the risk of this video just rumbling on and on and on, they're only 22 at this stage. So we're going to have to start doing bigger jumps. So we're going to do, at this juncture, 3 years to 2033. Right. So Josh Cook and Carlo are still there. Uwe Brandl has come for £25 million to Southampton. Literally just this season. He's just signed 3 days ago. What great timing. He won the Asian Champions League 2 years in a row. Did we ever check? I don't know if we ever looked and saw that Bochum had won the Bundesliga, but they did. They won it back here thanks to old Uwe Brandl. When was that? 27, 28. And Rooney Bargy was there. He's still there. Your best friend and mine, Rooney Bargy. 27-28. Uwe Brandl got 27 goals. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Right. So he's gone there. 3 for Everton still, 2 for Bristol City, 1 for Bournemouth, and 1 for Coventry. So no other transfers to speak of. Leonhardt has got 129 in 150 odd games. So Everton, they've got Michael Olise now. You've got Castello Lucaba. Last time we were here, of course, Everton had won the league, and well, they've won it again, 93 points. Is that 3 in a row for Everton? But not 4. Look at that. Wolves winning on 97 points. Everton second on 94, scoring 119 goals. And then Wolves again. The goal scoring, the top goal scorer, Prieto for Bournemouth on 36, Wolves, Stanici 35, 30 for Lionheart, 35, 34, 31. Yeah, lots of goals being scored, there. So if we look at the Premier League, then we've seen 3 for Everton and 2 for Wolves. And in the last 3 years, it's 2 FA Cups for Wolves and 1 for Bristol City. So the teams are very much taking over. Carabao, Wolves, Bristol City, Everton. Everton also have a Champions League, as do Bristol City. Runner-up for Wolves the last 2 years in a row. Absolutely devastating for Marcelinho, who's just lost to Real Madrid on penalties. The season before, he lost 1-0. And Bournemouth have actually won a Europa League. And Coventry have just won, well, in the last 3 years, they've won 2 Conference Leagues. So you can't argue with Luke Brothers, the captain. 280 and 360 for Coventry. He's a phenomenal player. He's only an icon, not a legend. Fine. So at 2033, not that many transfers happening, to be fair. I thought more would happen, but it is what it is. Should we jump 5 years now? Yeah, let's go to their 30. They'll be 30. They'll be 2038. Okay, and have Wolves signed another one? Wolves have signed Alejandro Prieto for £113 million from Bournemouth. When was that? About 4 years ago. God, he got 35 in 32 in that first season. God, he scored 160 and 158 for Spain. So Wolves have 3. Everton have 3. Who's going to be winning the Premier League? So last year, and of course we saw Wolves winning it, and then it went back to Everton. Both of them scoring 107 goals, which I think is very satisfying. 1 point in it. Wolves lost to Everton twice as well. The next season, oh my God, Wolves got 109 points. 1 defeat to Everton and 1 draw to Coventry. 2nd and 3rd place. Look at that. Everton and Coventry and Bristol City and Southampton, all of our players up here. Arsenal have got relegated. I've been looking at who's been getting relegated, but Arsenal got relegated. United in 17th. Chelsea and Liverpool down here as well. Following season, Wolves winning the league again at 98 points. Everton in 2nd. All of our teams up here in and amongst it. Down there, Liverpool got relegated. United, Chelsea just surviving once more. I think Arsenal have stayed down in the Championship. Everton have got the league back on goal difference. Both teams getting 100 points, Everton and Wolves. It's a 2-horse race. It's Everton v Wolves, isn't it, this time? And then Southampton finished 2nd while Wolves win it. Everton finishing 3rd. Crazy. The past winners, of course, as you can see. So far, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Everton, 5 for Wolves. So it's all square. Champions Leagues then. Last 5 years, Everton beat Coventry. Wolves beat Leeds. Coventry beat Southampton. Wolves have won again against Everton. So there's the last 5. 2 for Wolves, 1 for Coventry, 1 for Everton. So we've got Everton have got 2. Wolves have got 3 up to this point. Pep Guardiola's Wolves as well, as you do. Mikel Arteta's Everton. Michael Scubala's still at Coventry. A couple of Europa Leagues for Leeds. Bournemouth won one as well. Conference League. Bayern Munich have won the Conference League. How are they in the Conference League? All over the place, Bayern Munich. I guess they've got the transfer ban, haven't they? Of course, that's why Arsenal haven't come back, because they haven't got anyone good. Here we go. Razak Simone's on £195,000 a week. 138 current ability player. He does not deserve that kind of money. Ethan Nwaneri is on a hell of a lot of money. His contract's expiring. Doesn't look like he's renewing. Last 5 years, 2 FA Cups for Everton, 2 for Wolves, which means it's 4-3 to Wolves in FA Cups. So 5-3. And Carabao Cups, 3 more for Wolves, 1 for Everton, 1 for Coventry. So Everton have got 1, 2, 3. Wolves have got 4. I think Wolves are winning so far. Wolves are winning. How long will all the players stay for? Let's go to 2043. 5 more years. Okay, so we've still got 3 at Wolves. Carpentier left Everton and went to Toulouse. He went on a free transfer, so bear with. Uwe Brandl at Southampton, he's been there for quite a while. Maurice Lionheart, he's gone to Mainz. He left Everton on a free as well. I think the writing could be on the wall now for Everton. Adama Doumbia left Everton as well. Why did they all run out of contract at the same time? What happened to Everton? Sandro Tonali's in charge. And in the last 5 years, so Everton were 3rd. Wolves won it. Everton then won another. And Southampton got one Everton down in 4th. And I think this is where all the players left. Oh no, maybe not. They finished 2nd. Look at that. Wolves on 96 points. There we go. Everton down in 7th there. United and Chelsea getting relegated. And then Everton getting Champions League football from 6th. They've just won the Europa League, which doesn't bode well, does it? Because Wolves, well, Southampton have actually got 2 Champions Leagues, but Wolves have won another 3. Another 3 for Wolves. A couple of Southampton and Wolves with 2 FA Cups apiece, and then Wolves with 3 Carabaos, Derby and Forest with the others. Wolves have definitely won this experiment in terms of the players, and in terms of the players that went there. League Uber Eats, Nantes and Toulouse. Oh, Nantes are just walking away with the lead. They've won the league for last however long. Last winners. They've won it since 2033. Toulouse have come up into 2nd in most recent times. So their signing of Julien Carpentier has really helped. Mainz have just won the Bundesliga. Most of the players are wanted by Saudi Arabia. We have a quick look if anything else happens. We're going to 2045, 2 more years. Yeah, quite a few of them have gone. Wolves still representing all 3 of them, and they've won 5 Premier Leagues in a row now. Another 2 Champions Leagues in a row. It's all academic. Let's just go. I've simmed on a bit further. I've gone to 2054. They'll all be gone by this point. I just want to see who's been winning the leagues and stuff. Is any of the clubs that we know who've done well? Okay, so Wolves have carried on, but Leeds have won it in the last couple of years. Derby County up there in 2nd. I mean, of course, the Premier League is going to have a very different look because all the teams have got transfer bans. You've got Wrexham up there, Everton now down in mid-table. You've got Leeds winning it, Derby in 3rd, Norwich 4th, Coventry 5th. It looks a bit like a glorified championship, to be honest. Championship last season, Chelsea getting relegated, United are in mid-table. Where are Man City? Who knows? Go down again. Arsenal mid-table along with West Ham. Aston Villa relegated. Oh, I missed it. City were in the championship. Sorry, they were in the championship along with Liverpool. I missed them. Okay, look at the golden ball. Who won the most golden balls? Who was the best player? And so Elliot Jones started us off with 3. Then Lionheart. Then Josh Cook. Doumbia. Josh Cook with another 3. So he took it to 4. Prieto. Stinisi. Lionheart gets his 2nd. Josh Cook making it 5. Luke Brothers snuck 1, he's a set piece coach at Chesterfield. He's been a manager in all sorts. Uwe Brandl got 1 as well. A lot of our players did get them. If you want to look at the team of the year all season, Stanici for Wolves up top, and that's it. We've got Prieto on the bench. Were they the best? I don't feel they were. I don't know. It just feels a bit hollow sort of towards the end here. But he did sign, and he did a hell of a lot he did win so much with Wolves. To be honest, they did brilliantly, didn't they? All of the players, they did really well. And I thought this was quite fun that they didn't go to all the biggest squads. The lack of transfer activity, though, I'm not sure how to combat that. Let me know any suggestions you've got for other variations of these kind of experiments, because I want to do one with maybe some more players, release more into the wild, maybe don't cover them in as much detail, but I want them to be able to grow. But I don't want them to all be going up to the big teams. But I don't want them to sort of just get locked at certain clubs. I want them to transfer around a bit more than they did here. So yeah, any suggestions of how to make that happen, let me know. Maybe get the cogs turning in the old brain. I'll have a think as well. Hope you enjoyed this one, though. I've had an absolute blast with this one. I thought when I was making it, it might be quite fun. And it was a lot more fun than I actually thought it was going to be. I was looking forward to it, but I've had an absolute blast. So, yeah. Take good care of yourselves, gang. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And I'll see you soon.